It is UFC recap and reaction time. This time for UFC 327 that just happened this past Saturday in Miami, Florida. Main evented by, of course, light heavyweight title fight Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. Video is coming out a little later than I wanted. I do apologize. Just been busy. Been a little busy, but we're back. Doesn't mean, just because I'm busy doesn't mean I didn't get to watch this incredible show. But this was a great card from the UFC. I enjoyed it top to bottom. It was stacked. It was stacked, low key, top to bottom. So I really enjoyed this show. Great fights. And we're gonna get into them right now. We got a lot to talk about. So, trusty notes as always. Let's get right into it. First fight of the night was Charles Radke defeating Francisco Prado by decision, UFC welterweight division. Now, I picked Radke to win this fight. I sure did. I picked him by third round TKO, I do believe. I thought he was going to get the fight done. I thought he was going to do a little bit more striking just because he was taller and longer than Prado, but Prado immediately put on pressure and was landing some shots. He's a short, little, stocky boxer. Radke did Radke things, went straight for the takedown and control on the ground, which he did a great deal of. Like I said, taking him down, controlling him on the ground, smothering him, just kind of being dominant on top. And then when there was one point where Prado did reverse position and Radke got on bottom. And when Radke was on bottom, he was active. He was throwing elbows and slicing up Prado pretty well. There was an eye poke, a pretty bad one for Prado too. Like, usually, you can kind of tell, like, man, that kind of looks like an accident. Bro, this one looked like he was straight up trying to gouge out Radke's eye. It was pretty bad. And the crowd started chanting to deduct a point. And they did. They took a point from Prado. He had a rough night. There was one point he tried for a guillotine, which I usually hate on guillotines, but this one looks pretty tight. It was pretty close. Radke was he was wincing in pain, but was, of course, eventually able to get out of the guillotine. And with dominating most of the fight and a point deduction, he was able to cruise his way to a decision win over Francisco Prado. Got on the microphone, and I was like, is he going to say it? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to look it up, because I definitely cannot say it here. But I was wondering, I was like, is he going to say it on Paramount? Is he going to say it? He said it. He said the word. He said the thing. Is he going to get in trouble? I don't know. I don't know how Paramount feels about that. I don't think they would like it. But anyway, moving on. Middleweights. Unk versus Unk. Dose. Kelvin Gastelum versus Vicente Luque. Middleweight fight. And I talked about it in my predictions. If this was at welterweight about 6 years ago, I'd be losing my mind. But it's not. I got this fight completely wrong. Like, there were some fights I got wrong. Don't get me wrong. But this one was, like, far and away the one I was completely wrong about. I thought Kelvin Gastelum was going to get a decision in here. I thought he was going to go out there and not let Luque take him down. Going to stick and move, put hands on Luque, have a granite chin, and just be the better striker and better boxer here. Not what happened. Luque was able to put hands on Gastelum and drops Gastelum. I mean, as soon as it hits the ground, you know where Vicente Luque is going. He's going to the front headlock series, and he's looking for a Darce. That's exactly what he got. Drops him, goes straight down to Darce or Anaconda, whichever one it was. Same deal. Whatever. But still, they're not the same, I know. Whatever. He goes down, he gets it, locks it in on Gastelum, and gets a tap in the first round. Vicente Luque wins at middleweight. First round submission over Kelvin Gastelum. Like I said, completely wrong for me. I thought it was going to be a Kelvin Gastelum decision win here. Not disappointed, though, because I like Vicente Luque. It was cool to see him win. They asked him if he's going to stay at middleweight or go to welterweight. He says he's going to, kind of see how it goes. But he had RoboCop in his corner, who was a middleweight, and Vicente Luque looked 2 sizes too small to be standing next to RoboCop. So I think if he wants to keep fighting, he should stay at 170. So, yeah, I wouldn't stay at middleweight. A lot of killers at middleweight. I do believe, though, his grappling would give some middleweight some trouble, because I feel in the UFC, the higher up you go in weight classes, the less skillful it gets. Let's just be real. So I think he could give some people some trouble at middleweight, but still, good win for Vicente Luque. I completely got that fight wrong, but it's okay, because it was cool to see Vicente Luque win a fight. So, moving on. This one, bro. Chris Padilla versus Marquel Medeiros. Now, if you watch my predictions, which you should have, I picked Chris Padilla to win this fight by decision. And, you know what? I picked him to win this fight by decision. And I said he was going to put on pressure, be very active, and throw a lot of leg kicks. And then I said Medeiros would still land his shots, though, because he he's a good striker in his own right, but he's more of a patient, laid-back striker, catches you on the way in. That's exactly what this fight was. I nailed exactly what was going to happen, and it looked like Padilla was going to win this fight by decision, and I'll get to that. Here's what I wrote. I said, Padilla looks like he's in flow state, good pressure, good shot defense, and clinch work. Padilla did get a deep cut, though. Medeiros threw an elbow, like a little shark fin elbow. Boom. Cut him right on the forehead. That was a little deep gash on Padilla. Again, Padilla, constant pressure and activity. And Medeiros had good elbows in the clinch, of course. Medeiros loses a point for an eye poke. There's another eye poke, and Medeiros gets a point deducted. So a point deducted while he's falling behind on the activity scale. He's probably doing more damage, but he's falling behind on the pressure and the activity of Padilla, and he got a point deducted. They go to the scorecards. They say Padilla majority decision. And I said, that's exactly right. He won that fight by decision. So I thought I just nailed that fight. Perfect prediction. Mind you, I'm pumped, right? And then like a couple minutes later, they're like, oh, by the way, they got that wrong. It's a draw. What? Who screwed that up? Was that the judge's scorecard screwed up? Was that Buffer? Because like this usually never happens. But we literally just saw it not too long ago with Marcin Tybur's fight. Another fight that I got screwed over with because I picked the loser who looked like the winner, ended up being the loser. So this happened to me. I'm 0-2 when this happens. I don't know if this is a Buffer thing. This is a judge's scorecard thing. I don't know what the problem is. But they announced Padilla the winner. I was pumped. And they announced that he had his post-fight interview and everything. And then later on, like, oh, by the way, it's a draw. Like, what are we doing, UFC? What are we doing? So, I don't count draws as a loss, especially this one. So, I said, that put me at what? That put me at 1-1-1. Because I got the first fight, I got Radke. I got the Gaslam wrong, and then, yeah, this is a draw. I don't count it. So, I'm 1-1-1 right now. 1-1-1. What a record. Next. Moving on. Let's pretend that never even happened. Pretend that never even happened. Where are we at? Right here. Tatiana Suarez versus Lupi Godinez. I picked Tatiana Suarez to win this fight. She did. I picked her to win by decision. That's a cop-out answer. Women's fight. Pick a decision. I'm such a chud for that. But still, she goes in there and she gets a submission in round 2 over Lupi Godinez. Rear naked choke submission. And it's funny, Suarez, before I get into this, she's big for 115. She's a big strawweight. And I low-key forgot she existed for a minute. Because like when Verna Jandiroba won against Tabitha Ricci, I was like, she's the best grappler at 115, which I still do believe. But in my head, when I'm saying all this, I totally forgot about Tatiana Suarez. So like, Suarez winning this, Jandiroba beating Ricci, Suarez versus Jandiroba could be a number 1 contenders fight for sure. I would love to see that. Be great grappling exchange between those two. I'd be very excited to see how that goes. But Tatiana Suarez, yes, gets it done. Round 2, submission. She did Tatiana Suarez things, worked her wrestling and her control. There was a moment, though, where Lupi had her rocked in the first round. Like, she was landing good shots, and I was like, oh, my God, no way. But Suarez was able to wrestle through, get her takedown, smother her on the ground, do her thing, and end up getting the rear naked choke. And it was deep, too. And she's got long arms. So Lupi was fighting for as long as she could, but it was inevitable. Tatiana Suarez gets it done. Rear naked choke. That put me at 2-1-1 now. So we're starting to climb back after that disaster of a draw decision bullcrap that they tried to pull on me. They've done this to me twice now, and I can't stand it. I honestly can't stand it. Let's move on. Oh, it gets worse. Mateusz Gamrot versus Esteban Ribovics. I picked Esteban Ribovic's second round TKO knockout finish. There was a second round finish. It happened to be a submission, and it happened to be for Mateusz Gamrot. Now, the reason why I'm not too upset about this one is because I said I could totally see a sneaky veteran Mateusz Gamrot performance where he dominates on the ground. That's exactly what happened. Gamrot goes out there, he's taking him down, smother him. Ribovic just looked lost on the ground. He really did. Gamrot was, like I said, tiring him out. Ribovic was starting to look tired and more tired as the fight goes on. He ends up getting him down again because Ribovic started overthrowing his punches a lot and made it really easy for Gamrot to shoot under and get takedowns. So he takes him down and he starts going for a head and arm. And it's funny because he's sitting there and I see what the ref saw because he's in the choke, right? So his arms, he's stuck over here. His arm, he's in the choke, right? We're gonna play this out. So he's in the choke and his eyes, he's just like looking up, and his eyes look like they're glazed over. right? So the ref goes to break it up, and then he's like, no, ref, I'm okay. 2.2 seconds later, he goes, okay, and then he taps. Like, brother. And everyone's like, oh, dude, ref, what are you doing? He looked like he was out, and then he ends up tapping 2 seconds later anyway, so does it really matter? He got outclassed on the ground, unfortunately, because I was trying to ride the Ribovic train. Gamrot, man, he's sneaky, bro. Sneaky vet. Because there's a lot of guys, like, I think lightweight's weird right now because it's not a lot of new blood. It's all the old heads still. The Gaethjes, the Holloways, the Gamrots, the Dariushas, the Moicanos. All these guys are still ranked at 155. Not necessarily saying they're dominating, the Charles Oliveira's. But they're still ranked, you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting of what's going on at 155. But Gamrot, man, he's sneaky. He's sneaky. There's a lot of guys I would, if I was an up-and-comer, I'd be a little nervous to go against Gamrot. So you got to wonder, like, okay, he defends his ranking against an up-and-comer, unranked Ribovic, dominates him. Who does he want next? Dude calls out Diego Lopez. What the hell? Where did that even come from? He said, Diego Lopez, you want to come to 155? Fight me, brother. When has Diego? Am I crazy? Did I miss that bit of news? I don't remember Diego Lopez ever once mentioning he wanted to come up to 155, like ever. So I don't know. I don't know where he got this from, or where this information has come from Mateus Gamrot. But hey, that's who he calls out. He gets he gets the win. So what am I at? 2-1 now. Unfortunately. Anyway, we move on. The man in the mirror. The battle of the man in the mirror is what this was. You ever fight your reflection? This is what it looks like. Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. Welterweight fight here. Pull up the notes. Here. Okay. Now, Kevin Holland gets it done by decision. I picked Kevin Holland to win this fight by second round submission. So I did get that right. Makes me 3-2-1. So I will take that. Anyway. Brown was landing well. I was a little nervous. I didn't think he would. I don't want to say nervous, but I thought he would struggle with Kevin Holland just because of the similar builds that they have. Randy Brown usually wins by being long and being lanky and staying on the outside. Well, then he's fighting a guy that's built just like him, looks just like him. Anyway, so I was very curious to see how he'd handle it, but he started landing well. But Holland ends up getting on top at the end of the round. So it's a hearsay round. All the judges end up giving it to Holland. I believe he won a 30-27 in this. And then round 2 I want to talk about because I picked a round 2 submission for Kevin Holland. This dude gets Randy Brown in a Darce choke, fully locked in, has both legs hooked, bridging all the way. I'm like, dude, I'm a genius. Kevin Holland second round submission, I'm a genius. Randy Brown somehow gets out of this. I don't know how he got out of this. Like, I'm so glad I didn't bet money on that because I would have been so mad. Like, it looked like he was dead to rights, bro. I thought for sure Kevin Holland had this locked up. Second round submission. Easy peasy. Genius. No. Randy Brown survived somehow. Round 3 is a lot of Randy Brown clinching up against the cage but not doing much. Holland's back's against the cage, but he's being more active, landing more shots with his back off the cage. And yeah, Holland was doing Holland things, though, constantly talking and acting like he didn't care to be there. I still feel if Holland treated his career seriously, he could have done something serious, but we'll never know. But yeah, he gets a decision win here over Randy Brown. And yeah, he beats Randy Brown, and that, like I said, moved me up to 3-2-1 on the night. Then we go into UFC did this to me on purpose, bro. Bellator legacy fight on the prelims. Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico. I'm number one Bellator hater. I can't stand Bellator fighters. I don't think they're good, and I don't think they can make it in the UFC. So, of course, UFC puts them up against each other, so I'm forced to pick one. And if you remember, I was back and forth on this. I could not decide who I wanted to pick. I ended up going with Aaron Pico. You know, I should probably change the picture while I'm talking about it. I ended up going with Aaron Pico to win by decision, and if you're lucky there, that's what happened, boys. Very nervous. I'm so glad I didn't switch that one back. But anyway, here's the notes. I had Pitbull was putting on more pressure than usual at the beginning, and Pico was more relaxed. They had flipped roles almost, because usually Pico's wild and coming out hot. Both looked solid on the feet. They both did look good, and Pitbull had good low kicks, and Pico was throwing more power shots. His shots had more pop, had more sting on them than Pitbull's did. Pico had good low kicks as well, But then first round, it was the only time it looked like Pitbull was having any success. Because once round, I don't know what happened in between rounds 1 and 2, like in the corner, but Pico flipped the switch, and this dude's boxing started looking incredible. He was fast, he was technical. Every punch he landed hit Pitbull directly in the face. I don't know if Pitbull cannot move his head or what, but it was crazy. He started getting beat up on. He got dropped and rocked multiple times. They go into round 3, a lot of the same. Pico started doing a little bit more wrestling in round 3 just to secure the win, and ends up getting out of there with a decision victory, a dominant decision victory over Patricio Pitbull. There's the Bellator GOAT now, Aaron Pico. This was for GOAT status of Bellator. But Aaron Pico is going to be ranked in the UFC. That's crazy to say. What's next for him? I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see what they could do for him. I saw some people like matchmaking him to take on like John Silva. I was like, are we dead ass? Like, stop doing that. Don't do that. Let Pico get some momentum. Let him get some momentum. All right. Give him Josh Emmett. No, I'm just kidding. We'll see. We'll see what they do. But yeah, Aaron Pico gets it done. That tops off the prelims. Then we go to the main card, the main dish, the main reason we are here. The first fight was Cub Swanson taking on Nate Landwehr. I picked Cub Swanson to win this fight by KO, TKO in round number 2. He does it in round number 1. Of course, this was Cub Swanson's retirement fight, and he looked incredible. He was an absolute flow state, hands down, confident, moving. Every shot he threw landed on Landwehr. He rocked Landwehr like multiple times and ends up finishing him in the 3rd round. And it kind of looked like it was going to be an early stoppage, which I did predict. I was like, bro, there could be an early stoppage in this. I thought that was going to be the greatest pull of all time. But then when Landwehr gets up, he tries to, like, start pummeling with Herb Dean. So I was like, all right, never mind. That's not late. That's a good stoppage. But yeah, Cub Swanson gets it done. Looked incredible in that fight. Has his little promo package. And, I mean, Cub Swanson, man. This dude never missed weight at featherweight. He was the last guy from WEC. He's fought the who's who of guys, bro. He's fought guys like Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira. I believe he beat both Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira too. There's a lot of other big names, can look into who he fought, but Cub Swanson, bro, absolute legend. And what a fairy tale way to go out. First round knockout on the main card. Pretty sick, brother. Pretty sick. Now, we move up. Oh, God. This fight, brother. Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. They did this on purpose, bro. They did this on purpose because everyone was saying, including myself, that this was going to be a knockout no matter what. I picked Dominic Reyes to win by first round knockout. He did win a decision. He did. But this fight was god-awful. The crowd was booing the whole time. These guys did not want to engage with each other at all. Like, they both know they could both get knocked out from Augusta to win. And I think they knew it. They knew it so bad, and they were scared. They were scared to get involved. They did not want to get anything going here. It was Johnny Walker ended up making it a Taekwondo fight. This dude did nothing but kicks the whole time. Landed a bunch of kicks. He probably won the first round with his kicks. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, you guys. Dominic Reyes did win this fight, and I agree with this. And a lot of people are like, dude, they robbed Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker won the fight. No, he didn't, bro. You guys fell victim to Joe Rogan. You guys were taken advantage of by Joe Rogan. Pause. Because Joe Rogan, if you watch it without commentary, Dominic Reyes won that fight. But, I mean, Joe Rogan, nobody loves a low calf kick more than Joe Rogan, and that's all Johnny Walker is throwing. So, one calf kick to Reyes, boom. Oh, nice little calf kick by Johnny Walker. Another one, boom. Oh, that calf's compromised. Dominic Reyes, his calf's compromised. So, Joe Rogan, bro, he was gassing it up for Walker. Walker did not win that fight. Reyes did more stuff, landed better shots. I agree that he won. It doesn't mean the fight wasn't god-awful and boring. It was. Like I said, I technically got the winner right, but I don't want to take credit because, like, man, I said first round knockout from Dominic Reyes. This dude won a boring split decision. Like I said, dude went from beating John Jones for the light heavyweight title of the world to going to a split decision with Johnny Walker, bro. Life comes at you fast, Dominic. But yeah, there's not really much else to say about that fight. It's gonna ruin my mood if I keep talking about it. Yeah, let's move on. You know what's not going to ruin my mood? You know what's going to make my mood 20,000 times better? Talking about Josh Hokit versus Curtis Blades, brother. I have been on the Josh Hokit train. You guys know this. I've been on the Hokit train. I was talking all week how Hokit was going to beat Curtis Blades. Everyone's like, oh, it's too big of a joke, bro. That's Razor Blades, brother. Do you know who you're talking about? I know exactly what I'm talking about. All right? Because look at this. Josh Hokit gets it done against Curtis Blades. He gets it done. In the Josh Hokit way, bro, they just scrapped the entire fight. One of the best fights I've ever seen. Probably the best heavyweight fight I've ever seen. And it's one of the best fights, period. One of the most entertaining fights. These dudes were gassed out after 2 minutes in the first round, and they went to a decision. Nothing but just throwing bombs on each other, landing big shots, rocking each other multiple times. Curtis Blades, I think he had a fractured nose and orbital bone. Josh Hokit didn't get any. No bones. No broken bones. It's Josh Hokit way. But anyway, like I said, crazy fight. Hokit gets it done. He still gets to do, he did his stuff on the mic, still got to talk and say what he wanted to say on the mic. He was middle finger maxing the whole fight, bro. Every chance he got, he's throwing up the middle finger at Curtis Blades. Absolutely incredible. He was defending shots from Curtis Blades as well. I mean, hey, man. The Hokit train's rolling. And we passed you guys. I'm conducting the Hokit train right now, all right? We passed you guys, but I'll stop. I'll forgive you guys and I'll let you guys get on. We still got some room. It's getting full right now. The Hokit train's getting full right now. But I'll stop and I'll let you guys get on. I'll accept your apologies and I'll let you get on. Because the next stop, the White House, baby. Josh Hokit is fighting Derek Lewis at the White House card by Donald Trump's suggestion. He wanted Derek Lewis on the card. And he liked Josh Hokit, wanted Josh Hokit on the card. They made it happen. He's like, Dana, why is Derek Lewis not on the card? The Black Beast representing America needs to be on the card. Find him an opponent. And then he was like, wow, this Josh Hokit. I love this Hokit guy. Let's, he needs to fight. He needs to fight that, what's that big black guy? Put him on the UFC card. And Dana White's like, Mr. President, Big Black, he just fought Curtis Blades. That already happened. He goes, no, the other one, he goes, I hate Ngannou. He goes, Derek Lewis, him and Derek Lewis at the White House. So now it's booked. Josh Hokit, Derek Lewis, Freedom 250 White House card. That is a banger. Josh Hokit, the savior of the UFC heavyweight division. I've been saying it, and I've been right, and he proved me right. Josh Hokit is the man, bro. And heavyweight's getting, we used to hate on heavyweight, how bad it was. It is getting so good. We got guys like Josh Hokit. We got Waldo Cortez Acosta, who went on a crazy, crazy run last year, and now he's about to fight Alexander Volkov. We got, of course, Tom Aspinall at the top. Alex Pereira's joining now. We got fun guys like Walter Walker in the top 15 right there. And Gable Stevenson's about to make his debut on UFC 329, and he's coming to the heavyweight division. Brother, heavyweight is looking loaded now all of a sudden, bro. We used to hate on it. It's looking good now. It's quite the opposite of the light heavyweight division, which we'll get into here. Actually, the next 2 fights we'll get into it. So let's get into it right now. Talk about light heavyweight. But again, Josh Hokit train. I told you. Moving on. Co-main event. You know what I didn't tell you is how this fight was going to go. Azamat Murzakanov versus Paulo Costa. Costa making his light heavyweight debut. Former middleweight, of course. Former Mexican. Did he just say former? Yeah. Paulo Costa, light heavyweight debut, taking on the undefeated at the time, Azamat Murzakanov. I picked Murzakanov, 3rd round knockout or TKO over Paulo Costa. I got the round and finish correct, just the wrong guy. Costa finishes Murzakanov. That looked like prime Paulo Costa. This dude's secret juice was juicing, brother. He was juice maxing. To the fullest and looked great doing it. Paulo Costa, I thought for sure he was going to look good early, like in the first round, and then win the first round. Murzakanov would kind of like come back, win the second, put it away in the third, because Murzakanov is usually so starter. It was kind of the opposite. Murzakanov was like, he was fine with anger. The stuff that Paulo calling him fat, bald, and old, which all are not lies, but that got under Murzakanov's skin, I think, because he was fighting with some anger, with some pressure, and he was trying to put that pressure on Paulo Costa, and Costa was ready for it, man. And you know what? Let me read some notes on it while we're here. Azakanov was working the body. There was a time, a little eye poke from Costa, but that was no big deal. Costa started doing some body kicks as well to Murzakanov, and they were landing well. His belly was jiggling. He was doing a lot of low kicks on Murzakanov. He was kicking up Murzakanov, and that'll get to the finish here in a minute. I have here still Azamat, not patient like usual, fighting with emotion. He did win round 2. I had it 1-1 going into round 3. And then Costa just started round 3. He's like, you know what? I want to finish this fight. Starts spamming head kicks on Murzakanov. And one of them, he, like, blocks. And I think, I haven't seen the official news, but it looked like he hurt his arm. He either broke it, fractured it, something. He hurt his arm bad. So Costa's like, oh, I'll just throw, like, 9 more head kicks. And he does. Rocks Mirzakhanov. Mirzakhanov kind of stumbles around, falls down. Ref waves it off. Paulo Costa, 3rd round knockout TKO finish over Azamat Mirzakhanov, taking away his 16-1 now. And now all of a sudden, Paulo Costa's back. What? Paulo Costa is looking good. Kelvin Gastelum versus Vicente Luque, brother. Cub Swanson. What year is this? What year is this? Crazy performance from Paulo Costa. I was not expecting it. I got that fight wrong. But hey, I was happy to see it. It was cool to see Paulo Costa looking good again, man. What's next for Paulo Costa? We'll see after I talk about this main event, because there's a lot to talk about at light heavyweight. Main event. Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg for the vacant UFC light heavyweight championship. Aura Farming versus Lux Maxing in the main event, and Lux Maxing comes out on top. Carlos Ulberg, 1st round knockout over Jiri Prochazka, brother. What? Now, I wish I would have picked Ulberg. Of course, everyone does. But listen, if you watch my predictions video, which you better do if you haven't. Why are you watching this if you haven't watched the predictions video? Really? Really? But anyway, in that, I talked about how bad of a matchup Carlos Ulberg is for Jiri Prochazka. Jiri does not do good against guys that throw calf kicks. Carlos Ulberg. He does not do good against guys that are counter punchers and power punchers. Carlos Ulberg. He doesn't do good against patient fighters. Carlos Ulberg. He's everything that Jiri is prone to losing to. But I still picked Jiri because I picked with my heart. And I need to stop doing that, because every time I pick with my heart, I'm wrong. I need to start picking with the noggin. Because if I would have broke it down mathematically like I was doing, I should have picked Ulberg. But I didn't. I picked Jiri. I picked Jiri like 4th round TKO after losing like 3 rounds. But anyway, this fight. Jiri and Carlos Ulberg, they're doing their thing, going back and forth, right? And at some point, Ulberg knee blows. Gone. Knee pops, right? And he's hurting. He can barely stand on it. I don't think that it's officially came out, but a lot of people think it's going to be torn ACL. So he's going to be out for a long, like 9 to 12 months, I believe, is the recovery time. Disgusting. But anyway, he's hurt. He's on one leg. Jiri does not go for the kill. They teach you that from like your first amateur fight, brother. They're going to teach you to go for the kill. If someone's hurt, you go for the finish. Jiri showed mercy. And let's call Ulberg, like, he didn't pressure him. He didn't try to take Ulberg down. He didn't try to put him against the cage, do anything to, like, put pressure on Ulberg. He stayed at range doing what he does. And guess what? He charges in, gets caught with a left hook, which is, bro. Oh, gets caught with a left hook. Who's the only person to beat Jiri besides Carlos Ulberg now in the UFC? Alex Pereira. What's he known for? Left hook. Brother. The storytelling in this was insane. Jiri, for once, shows mercy, and it cost him everything. Like, what? I mean, can we just talk? Jiri has he has no fight IQ now. We know this. We've known this, but we didn't want to admit it. Now we know this, and we have to admit it, because what are you doing? He had the title in his hands. All he had to do was finish the fight. Maybe not even that. He probably could have just circled around the rest of the... Because, look, he could have circled around. It was, like, a little over a minute. He could have just played it safe. They go in between rounds. There's a good chance the refs might even stop that fight. The doctor stops it because of how bad his knee is. Or I think Carlos even mentioned that his corner was thinking about throwing in the towel, or saying in the corner, like, hey, our boy can't fight. His knee's blown up. But no, he gets caught by Ulberg. Ulberg puts him out on one leg. A one-legged Carlos Ulberg knocks out Jiri Prochazka. Jiri has the biggest fumble of all time. Shows mercy in the main event of a UFC title fight. He shows mercy to his opponent. What are you doing, brother? What are you doing? Jiri, bro, broke everybody's heart. Carlos Ulberg, the former male stripper, I do believe, gets it done and is now the UFC light heavyweight champion. And why is this interesting? Because his knee blown out. He blew his knee, so he's going to be gone for a minute. So is he going to... The light heavyweight tradition is to vacate the belt. Jiri, or, not Jiri. Yeah, Jiri vacated it once, didn't he? Yeah. Jiri vacated. Jamal Hill vacated. And, yeah, that was kind of like the thing. People would, like, vacate the belt. So is he going to do that? Or is the UFC going to do what they love to do and make an interim title? Either way, it's like, hey, what's the next for the title? You know, what are they going to do next? You look at the guys ranked. Jiri just lost. Magomed Ankalaev just got finished in the first round. in his last fight. So did Jiri. You're not going to put Jiri versus Ankalaev. No. Carlos Hallberg's right there, of course. Alex Pereira's not there anymore. Khalil Roundtree coming off a loss. Jamal Hill, crazy losing streak. Who else is ranked up there right now, light heavyweight? There's probably someone else that's coming off a loss because I remember looking at it and like everybody was like losing. The next like big guys, bro, is like Jan Blachowicz and Bogdan Guskov because they fought each other and it was a draw and they're about to fight again. That's like that fight's on the prelims. The next fight they're fighting next on the prelims and they're the only two guys in like the top 10 with a win, like coming off of a win. Like light heavyweights in shambles. So then I bring back in Paulo Costa. Does Paulo Costa get an interim title shot after beating Azamat Murzakanov? That was the other guy ranked, obviously. Murzakanov. He just lost. Do you bring in Paulo Costa to get a title shot? Against who? Paulo Costa versus the winner of Blachowicz Guskov 2 for the title, bro? Could you imagine? Like, what world? Like, imagine a year ago, bro. Jiri Prochazka on top of the world light heavyweight champion. You go to a year later, like, yeah, actually, there's an interim championship fight between Jan Blachowicz and Paulo Costa. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? That's craziness. So light heavyweight, again, absolutely in shambles. Light heavyweight's in shambles. What's going to happen next with light heavyweight? I do not know. We got to get the official ruling on Carlos Hallberg to see how long he's out, see if it is I mean, it's almost guaranteed to be torn ACL, but, you know, we'll see what it is. Yeah, rough way to end the show, but it was an entertaining show. It was good to have numbered events back. I keep wanting to call them pay-per-views, but they're not that anymore. I think I went 7-4-1. Not the best, but they screwed me with that draw. The draw was a shame. And then classic me fashion. I get the co-main event and the main event wrong. The the biggest fights on the card I get wrong. But I smoked the prelims. I did great on the prelims. Prelims Demon is back, baby. I am who I am. You can't change me. But anyway, that's my recap and reactions to UFC 327. It was a great show. Like I said, I had a great time watching it. It was a fun one. It was good to have the numbered events back. Crazy ending, crazy fights. Great time. Next up, we got an absolute loaded card of Mike Malott versus Gilbert Burns. Brother, that card is actually so bad. I know we talked about Moicano and Chris Duncan card being bad. This one's might be worse. So that's going to be rough. I know I'm going to be doing more fun things, doing more media work for an MMA show, so I'm pumped for that. And then I got commentary the following weekend after that for when that's when Yusuf Zalal and Aljamain fight. So don't worry, I'm keeping up with everything like I always do. Videos will be coming out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Like I said, if you haven't checked out my predictions, I don't know why you've watched this and not my predictions. So go watch my predictions if you haven't watched that. Make sure you like the video, comment what you thought about the show. Make sure you guys subscribe. I'm on the road to 100 subscribers on the tube. Like I said, I'm at like 65. Pretty cool. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's cool to me because I never thought I would do this stuff. And I'm just having fun. So if you guys could subscribe, though, that would be sweet. Give me a little hundo on the Tubester. Follow me on all my other social medias, showtime.tv04 and everything, TikTok, Instagram, and of course here on YouTube. Follow my personal Instagram if you're interested, I.am_Connor Smith. All the links will be in the description, as always. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my breakdown and predictions video for Malott versus Burns in Canada.